for a whole year, and I sent to one of my friends here, and they said, "Dola, this is too poor." I don't want to mention the money, the amount. So when I sent to the friend that this is what I saved for the whole year, he told me the truth that this is too poor. And since that time, I've been saving more than that every month because he changed. He made me see that, and I work less than that time. That time I was if I rush here, I rush here. Now I don't rush anywhere because I was able to come here to see that the difference between Aliko Dangote and the truck driver, if you open their brain, it will be anatomically the same thing. It's just the mindset, and mindset is everything. And that's what we do here. This is a mindset clinic. We change your mindset, we change your thinking, we change your mentality, and you cross your leg, and the money starts flowing on you. Money grows on trees, and you're about to plant your own tree now. You have to cross your leg, and now wait for those money to start dropping, and they will drop big. So I want to call on my Mr. Toye so that I can introduce our teacher. Our teacher is ready for us. Anytime, he's always ready. He has spent night, he has gone to research. And why it's sweet is that it's not like academic. I don't know whether of us have been to all those professors before. If you go to them, the professor that be teaching finance is using the same car, the same old Volkswagen since 1992. They cannot change his car. But this one is what our teachers, they are practical. It's what they do every time. So it's normal to them. We're going to enjoy today, and you're going to be blessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A round of applause. Good morning once again. Good afternoon once again. I'm going to go through the biography to introduce our guest speaker. We will say he's the guest speaker because we don't have him here with us all the time. And we are privileged to have him here. Yeah, please, a round of applause for him. Yeah. Okay. This is for Dr. Gbolahan Adebayo Yusuf, Medical Director, Healthcare Innovator, Business Coach. And before I go on, it's a privilege once again to have his own mentor here with us today. And as I said, please stand up for recognition again, sir, because you're hiding at the back. Thank you for coming, sir. As I said, at our get-together, when you have track record, when you have a mentor and you have a mentee that has become a mentor, you have several mentees that have become mentors, then kudos. Dr. Gbolahan Adebayo Yusuf is a distinguished medical professional, entrepreneur, and speaker dedicated to transforming healthcare in Africa. He holds a medical degree from the University of Ibadan and the University College Hospital, UCH, along with certifications in leadership and management in global health, project management in global health from the University of Washington, and health financing policy for universal health coverage, WHO. As the Chief Medical Director and CEO of Siloam Group of Hospitals, he leads the cutting-edge urban secondary healthcare facility here in Lagos, Nigeria. His leadership has driven innovation, excellence, and accessibility in medical care. He co-founded the Accessible Care for Everyone AIDS initiative in 2014 to bridge the gap between essential medical services and the average Nigerian, demonstrating his commitment to equitable health care. A passionate advocate for maternal and child health, Dr. Yusuf organizes health outreach programs for pregnant women, offering education, subsidized care, and empowerment. Through Siloam Group Medical Center, he has He also trains traditional birth attendants and local midwives, further strengthening community-based healthcare. His contributions earned Ceylon Medical Center recognition as the most effective business by SME_NG. Beyond medicine, Dr. Yusuf is a renowned speaker, business coach, and facilitator at platforms like 110 Academy and the African Business Summit. He specializes in personal development, entrepreneurship, and mindset transformation, inspiring professionals and business leaders to achieve peak performance. Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf seamlessly integrates healthcare innovation, leadership, and philanthropy, making a lasting impact on individuals and communities alike. So let's welcome Dr. Gbolahan Yusuf as he comes to take the stage.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You may be seated. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Okay, so I don't know. I would like some people sitting at the back to come occupy the empty seats. Is anybody here?
No.
So I have an empty seat here. I have another one there. Please, I need people from the back and another one here. We don't have so much empty seats left for people who will still arrive, and I won't want them to disrupt the presentation. So please, thank you. Let's appreciate them as they fill up the seats. Yes. Come to the eye table. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So today we're talking about a very interesting topic. Now, everything that's been created and everything we've seen, even the human body, if you can be stripped down to a single unit that represents the whole. The same way you look at organizations, and when you start to divide it into subdivisions, you get to a point where there's an individual that functions in a department. When you bring them together, they are members of a department. When you bring all the departments together, they're actually members of the company. If you look at the organogram of every company, at the end of it, the smallest unit is the department, and it's a functional organism. If you look at the human being, we have different systems. Remember our biology. We all did biology. We all did biology, right? Okay, yes. And then, as simple as the digestive system, you have the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, and you continue like that. Now, for the entire organism to function, each unit must actually do their work. That's one way to look. Another thing also is that the success of the entire organization also depends on the units. And that's why at these seminars, we're taking time to teach about how to hire and how to fire. We have talked about how to motivate our teams, because we believe that the success of the organization depends on the success of the team, the setup, right? Now, looking at that, if we now go on to plants and trees, you can also break them down. And I want to talk about the concept of the smallest unit that is capable of reproducing every plant. And we call that seed. A seed is defined as a sequence of growth capable of reproducing after itself. That means that if you see the seed, a bean seed, the seed has the capability to produce a beans plant that then from which you can harvest grains of beans. Do you agree with me? If you see a rice plant, and if you want a rice plantation, you plant the rice seed. If you want a mango tree or you want a mango plantation, you plant the mango seed. And that is simple and it's very basic. It will be foolish for any man who wants a cassava plantation and he plants mango, and at the end of time goes to his farm and sees mango trees and a lot of mangoes, and is upset with the people who tended the garden and say, how come? Maybe it's the water you used to water it that was wrong. We all agree to this, right? Now, 110 Academy is about raising 100 billionaires every 10 years. Well, when I say who is a billionaire, it's someone who has what? How many zeros of money? 9 zeros. A lot of money. And what we started to teach and what we learned is to become something, you have to think and behave like that thing. Do you agree with me? So to become billionaires, you have to think and behave like billionaires. So if we strip down the entire process in the making of a billionaire, what is at the core of that machinery that delivered that abundance? Are we still together?
Yes.
What is the secret of being a billionaire? If you say someone has a lot of zeros, that's a lot of money. That means you can't be a billionaire without having money. There's no way you can be a billionaire without having a lot of money. And you can't start having a lot of money without start putting together little amounts of money. That's why there's no better way to start this year than to talk about the secrets of actually having a lot of money. Most times when we talk to billionaires and try to find out what's at the core of their secrets, I found out 2 things. 1, mindset. 2, savings. Because we all agree that everything is created twice. First, in your mind, which is within, and next, without, which is in your life. And if we follow that simple mathematical equation, it means for everything we want to see in our life, we must train ourselves to see it first within. Because as it is within, so it is without. So the secrets of men and women who have amassed a lot of fortunes start from the art and the science of saving. And if we're saying that you want to put little money together till it becomes a lot of zeros, one of the things that you must learn is what? Discipline. That's why we say prosperity has a foundation. The foundation is not luck, not inheritance or talent. It is discipline. So today we'll be talking about the art of saving, the advantages of it, and the vehicle that ensures that you can save your way to wealth. Are we still together? Now, poverty is a disease. And with every disease, it has a root cause. And health sciences will teach you and you understand. Once the cause is known, then you understand the cure. Because most times when you go to the hospital and you speak with your doctor and you're talking about different symptoms, what he's trying to figure out is what he's trying to make a diagnosis. And once he makes a diagnosis, there's a body of knowledge that already says that if it is malaria, then this is the cause and this is the drug to use. Do you understand? So the first thing I would like to talk about, what's the root cause of not having money? And understanding and accepting that not having money is a disease. And the cause of it is first having a poverty mindset, a lack mindset. Our interaction with money, if you read Psychology of Money and how we actually try to invest even our money, is largely dependent on probably when we were born, the family to which you were born, and how you grew up. Most times, the way until we start to intelligently and deliberately teach ourselves how to interact with money, your default state with money is how you grew up with money. That's why you find out that there are few people that when they grew up around a family where they were taught early enough how to treat money the right way, savings will not be a problem. But some other person who was born in a family where there is lack, which all they knew was for everything they want is we don't have. We don't have. If Providence now have it, that at a point, they enter into some form of money, their response will be 2 ways. One, either I grew up not having. So now that I have, the life that I did not live, I must live it. Do you understand? I must leave it and I must enjoy. And then that leads them to squander what is supposed to be the seed to their prosperity. So they will never have money. And that is because of the mindset they have around it. Same person, same background, can actually fall into that fortune and start to have money. And then now say that the reason why I grew up with no money was probably my parents also had the fortune of money. I think the other one is better. Had the fortune of having money, but did not manage it well. So that at the time I was born, there was now no money. How many of you have friends? Probably you are one of those last borns that your elder ones went to the best schools. But by the time they gave birth to you, there was now no money. And then you went to schools that were not as good as your parents. And then you live all your life regretting the fact that your elder ones had the best opportunity while you did not. Now, somebody like that can look at that. Oh, we had money at the time. We did not interact with money the right way. Or my parents didn't interact with money the right way. That's why by the time I was being born, there was now no money. Let me look for a way in which I can now grow this fortune that I've come into to ensure that I will end up with a lot of money. I gave a story about myself in Ibadan yesterday. And while growing up, I understand, when you get to school and you start to interact with other friends, you begin to, from the stories they tell you, especially when you guys go on holiday and come back from holiday, they start to tell you of stories of where they visited during the holiday. And then you begin to understand, okay, so these people have more money than we do. And I started to think about it. And I looked, and then as I grew up and started hearing the story of some other people, you realize that there are some that the grandfather was one that came into wealth, built the wealth, and handed it over to the next generation. And that now this generation, my own friends are now children of that generation and enjoying the opulence. Some others, it's the current parents that just got into money. And I thought about it. And when I thought about that, it actually excused myself from the ill feeling of not having as much as they had. That it's because of time and season. But then the responsibility is now on me to be the generation that starts this abundance so that my grandchildren's friends will also look at them and said, Ebieko is your grandfather that started the wealth. And that decision then has actually influenced, and Providence has actually caused me to enter into networks and connections, which is also including meeting my mentor today, that's helped and shaped how my life has turned out. I said that to say this, that what happens eventually is a function of your mindset about yourself and the future you are building. When you build the right future, when you have the right mindset, then the next thing is to create the discipline that ensures that you deliver that future. So poverty starts in the mind before it reaches the pocket. So if there's no money in the pocket, we have to check your mind. When there's chaos, when there's disorderliness inside, what you will see outside is external lack. When there's no money, there's chaos. When you don't have enough money, there's no peace of mind. There's fear. There's despair. Lack produces fear, desperation, and poor decision making. I put that as a footnote. You must become rich inside before wealth shows outside. So the first thing I'm establishing now is that the path to riches starts from the mind. What we're doing today is a form of programming. I was thinking about it at the end of the year. And even though, and we talk about neuroplasticity of the brain, the ability of the brain to be rewired to act in a different way. And it's not so far. For those of you that drive, when you started learning to drive, it required 150% of your attention to drive. If you've been driving for a while and you're so good driving, I'm sure sometimes you drive from A to B without thinking about it. Sometimes you're even absent-minded till you get to where you are, because over the time, new pathways are being formed in your brain that makes the connection between your brain, your hands, and your legs, and the coordination so seamless. Now, that's a programming because you learn. But you know, the truth about life is that either you are intentional about it or not, we are continuously being programmed. There's a program that's happening every day you wake up, and by the time you go home, by the time you go to bed, all the events that have happened that day has programmed you in one way or the other. What we are saying here, what we practice here is intentional mind programming. You have to be intentional about your programming. And also a little detour, reason why we say so much about winning in the morning is because you want to program your mind in the first 2 hours of the day before the world wakes up. For those of us that practice morning miracle, you realize that that period of the day is the period where you get the most silence. After those 2 hours, there are different voices. There are different voices either talking to you, and there are some voices that your mind is receiving stimulus from that you are not even aware of. And that's why we talked a lot about that in December last year. All those things is because you're being programmed. Right now, you are being programmed. And I have the privilege of imputing the programming. And I hope that by the end of the day, I'll have programmed you the right way. Thank you for giving me the honor. Now, I structured this presentation to make it as practical as possible. This is a worksheet, and the answer sheet is at the end of the slide. You would see it. Because of time, I naturally should give you like 5 minutes to work on it, but I'll read out the questions. I would like you to think about them as we go along. When the slides are put on the WhatsApp group, you can take your time to go through them. But this is a poverty audit. And the first question, sorry, the lighting in this room is not really helping my backdrop and the one here. So I'll just read them out. Number one question is, what has poverty cost you financially? 2 is, what has it cost you emotionally? You want to buy something, you don't have the money, or the rent is due, you really don't have the money to pay. What has it cost your family? These questions are intentionally grafted so that if we take time to really think about it, it will help us to realize that this is not the direction to go. We must actually fly in the opposite direction. The foundation of prosperity, like I started to talk about, is savings. All wealthy people save. There's nobody that has money that do not save. I've actually joked at the time that some people that have money that don't save, the only way it will happen is that they are making so much money at a rate at which even their spending cannot catch it. We laughed. And at the end of it, I told them that, but you know, nobody can get to that level, that your investment is making so much money that your expenses cannot catch up with it. Because the key word is that your key word there is your investment is making money. You can't have investment if you don't save. Do you understand? Yeah, because I was talking to someone who brought that to me, that what if I'm making a lot of money than what I spend? Is that not a form of savings? Well, I said you can't get to that point of making so much money if you don't save. Which brings us back to what I'm saying. The foundation of true prosperity is savings. If they say, do it, there's a Yoruba adage that say, let's do it the way it's been done, so we can get the result they usually get. So the people who have done it are wealthy people. And I'm telling you, you can go find it out, and I'm sure you know, is that the way they got there is by savings. And that's what I'm saying today. Today, the foundation is savings. Poor people spend first. In Psychology of Money, the book talked about, they did a research about how much does the average poor household spend on betting. And they discovered they spend $400 every year. When they went to the rich household, they don't spend even up to $40. Right? That means they don't bet. And the simple reason is this. First is that the poor in his mindset has accepted that I can never save my way to afford the good things of life. So I'm looking for shortcuts. I'm looking for God will or goodwill, fast. And betting promises, gambling promises that. What are they trying to do? And that's the simple thing we do. They are trying to fill a need. There's a high they are chasing. There's an emotion they are chasing, which they feel buying things would help you get them. There are a lot of things. We all have things we like. Everybody has their preferences. Early in marriage, I used to talk a lot about budget. If you want to, let's budget. There's so much. Until when I desire to buy some gadgets. And I realized that in my conversation with myself to buy those gadgets, there was no budget. I was willing to pay any amount. I didn't buy it. I stopped because I wouldn't do that. But then I now realized that we all have particular things we like, that emotionally, if we allow emotions to control our buying, we will spend all we have. And that is what people who don't have money try to do. They try to buy things they don't need to impress people who don't like, who don't know them. And for everything you bought, because before you buy it, because if you want to know what I'm thinking about, you can go to my YouTube page. You start to see I'm checking out, because I like to read about anything. You already see me watching video about everything about that. And I realized for me, by the time I'm done with all those watching, I'm already satisfied with what is fascinating me about it. Because even if you buy those things, you buy that car, you buy that wristwatch, you buy that shoe, you understand? After the first few times of using it, that feeling is gone. Now, the craving is satisfied, but your money is gone. And you have that thing that no longer satisfies that craving. And because you are chasing a high, you start to look at the next thing. And that's a practice that takes away your money. Most times, and what I'm teaching, will I say that you should not have the best things in life? But I'm saying that the money that you will spend on those things should be the grandchildren of your principal. It should not be your principal. It should be the interest on the interest on your investments that buy those things. I listened to, I'm not sure who it is, so I'm probably not, but I think I know. And he said that if he's going to buy any car, the cost of the car is usually less than, I think, 5% of the total money he has. Either 5% or 2%. That if he's buying any car you see him driving, you will see that this car costs a lot of money. How can this man? He said that car is less than 5% of maybe my money or the interest I generate per annum every year. And that is, and I might look at, that's a fine car. When this man drove this car to this event, everybody were looking at him. I wanted that respect. Let me take all the money I've gathered to buy what somebody used a fraction of his wealth to buy. We will get there. We are on the journey. We just need to be disciplined to stay on the journey, to stay on track. Thank you. Savings would create order. It creates direction. Because the mind that puts the money together is for a future you have envisioned and you are working towards. It means everything orderly. Even when desires come, it's easy for you to delay that gratification because there's a journey ahead, there's a destination ahead, and you are on a journey. The footnote here is prosperity is not about how much you earn, but how much you keep. We've learned that savings, when we talk about savings, we talk about storing. Because when you say save, some people go to take it back, but you store it and keep storing it. Savings is a science. Savings is an art. And that is why I can confidently come and talk to you about it today. When you say something is a science, it's a body of knowledge. It's an organized body of knowledge that would explain to you what it is about and how you can practice it. It has principles. And the two basic principles of savings is frugality and prudence. If you have to, when you consider the things you spend your money on, you have to be frugal. You have to consider anything expense you want to make and look at it in light of what you are trying to achieve or what you need it for. Is this a need or is this a want? Because our ability to differentiate between needs and wants and to have a scale of preference, there's another word for it. Opportunity. Look at opportunity cost, scale of priority. Thank you. Opportunity cost, and look at these are all my needs, but this is the order of priority. This is what I have. What I have can actually take care of 1, 2. Then we wait till when you can go on to take 3, 4. These are the things frugality and prudence is teaching us. And then discipline and logic. Like I said, it takes discipline to actually save. Because when you start to save, we're talking about our journey is to a lot of money. But when you start to save and you're looking at the savings, the zeros are not plenty, right? And then sometimes there is that temptation that when am I going to get to the right destination? We learned something last month, and the president told us that you should be patient with yourself. So it requires patience. It's an art. And like every profession that's an art, like even medicine. Medicine is an art. It takes apprenticeship. You understand it? It takes apprenticeship. Most of the things we know is because we stayed long enough in the classroom and on the wards, shadowing even doctors, and then learned them. And how is a habit formed? It starts from learning. Like what we're doing today. We learn. When you learn, you're already thinking about the things that are being said. You will go away from here and still think a bit more about it. Now, when you think about it and accept it, it will lead you to believe. And the evidence of belief is what? Action. If you believe something, you will take action. And further action, a compounding effect of actions will lead to you forming the habits. I save now seamlessly, but there was a time it was a struggle to save. I'm sure I even talked about a story about house job, about how I fell into putting money because I spent all the money and I had few months left of this, and I know NYSC will not pay the salary of house job. And what did I do? Like people that put money in gambling. I went to someone someone came to me. It was a lady that came to me and said, we'll pay you 20% of your principal every month. 20% every month is 240% per annum. But I did not think about it. You understand? So there was a time I was also struggling to save, but we started to save, and now it's become a habit, such that it's easy to save. In fact, the conversations are now, is it all of this that you want to save? Look at the things you still need to do to improve your investment. So once a habit is formed, you've automated it. It becomes automatic. The goal is for, as many people are still struggling to save, the goal is to get to the point where a habit is formed and you automate it. And I think there's still a slide where we talk about building a structure around your savings, and then that affects your lifestyle, the way you lead your life, the decisions you make, the things you allow into your life, and the likes. The power of saving. And this is very interesting because I've been talking about put it little by little, but there's a magic that happens when you save. And that is the miracle of compound interest. When we talked about seminar where we looked at investments and how to actually increase your money, we talked about mutual funds. And I actually put a slide up then. For as many people that were not here, probably we'll put that slide again on the group. And that slide, it was an example of someone saved 100,000 every month and just using the interest rate of 18%. We realized that, and once you save consistently, a miracle happens in the 7th year. It's usually the 7th year. And the miracle is that your entire interest for that year will be more than the entire money you saved that year. Yes. When I give you the chart, go and check the 7th year. And you can try as different. I can even put the link to the calculator and you play with what? Sometimes the way to cure not saving is to play with that calculator. But when I start to play with that calculator, I say, hey, so this is where we can get to. And the beautiful thing, the amazing thing that I even didn't know is that if you are continuing like that for 30 years, 100K every month. 100K every month for a year is 1.2 million. 1.2 million times 30. 1 million times 30 is 30 million. 0.2 times 30 million is 36 million. So 30 plus 6 is 36 million. If you continue like that, 100,000 every month at 18% for 30 years, you will hit over $1 billion. And more than 95% of that 1 billion is your interest. It's not the money you saved. That is the beauty of compound interest. That's the miracle of compound interest. You can't enjoy it if you don't save and leave your savings there. So it generates interest and compound growth. Are you with me? Then it will grant relief and hope. The more money you have, what will happen to you? Your state of mind? You'll be at ease. If you don't have enough money and your rent is due in 3 months or next month, or there's school fees coming and you don't have the money, there'll be nightmares. You will sleep for 8 hours and wake up, you are still not rested because the mind was not asleep. But if you have enough money to solve every problem that can come, known to man, let's leave natural disaster, what will happen to you? There's relief. Even if you don't have yet that will solve all the problems, but you have to solve most of the problems which a few years ago they were major problems. But now you are in a position where there are no longer problems. It will give you hope that what got you to that point will get you to where you are going to. So savings is not just the advantages of savings. And that's what I want to point out to you today. It's not just about the money that comes. It's the state of mind that you get. The state of your health that you get. Health is not just mere absence of disease. It's the state of what? Physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Not having money will affect mental and emotional well-being. Soon, physical well-being. So maybe I didn't put that one here. It will ensure you live long. At least one factor amongst other factors that can help in longevity of life. In fact, what's the point of living long when there is? But when you have a lot of money, it's more, that's added motivation to live long and enjoy the fruit of all your labor and wonderful decisions. It's a vaccination against poverty. The more money you have, the more your insulation from poverty. And then, of course, it gives ultimate freedom. The way I define freedom is how much of your time that is yours. How few are your needs, not necessarily your wants. The fewer the needs you have, the more free, the freer you actually become. And savings and what it will generate will grant you this. I have another footnote here. Savings is the seed of your future harvest. Now, there are other benefits apart from the one I've talked about. We'll talk about it to give you a lot of money. We'll talk about it to vaccinate you from poverty, to give you grant you relief, a good state of mind. It will build courage and confidence. You will believe and trust yourself. Because there was a time, like I was struggling to save. And then I made that decision to start to save. And I can see now that I'm saving. So even if there are some other areas that I'm still trying to, if something else comes to me that I want to work on and to achieve, if I go back and say, I couldn't save before, now I save. That means that I'm someone whose head is good. I'm someone who can look at what he wants and knows what he needs to do to achieve it and will stick to it and do it. I will know that I'm someone who is disciplined. I probably am not disciplined in this one, but at least this one, I've gotten discipline in it. It will help confidence. You can't be confident if you have not achieved anything. Your confidence in any area is the fact that there are challenges in those areas and you have overcome those areas. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it helps confidence. You see that savings will give you more than just money. It builds your courage. Of course, discipline. You can't save if you don't really have this. Self-reliance. You won't be the kind of person that nobody wants to pick your call, because they know that that call comes with billing. I'm sure everybody here has somebody or a few people that are in their DM, or anytime you see their call, there's only one thing they are calling you for. First, to explain how the world has been unfair to them, all the problems in life, and how you are the one sent. I'm sure you've seen all manner of messages. I've seen cases where their prayer is to your own success, because your success is tied to their own solution to their problem. And the question is, why don't you pray that prayer for yourself? Why don't you do the things that should be? So, but if you are the type that you save, that even if it happens, like it's happened, I'm sure a lot of people have those testimonies that you've had one challenge that probably you've shared with somebody. You understand? And then the next time they are coming to you, you can give them the testimony of having solved that. If you see someone that comes to you and say, oh, this is my issue, because of the way we are wired. You know, I said the way we interact with money is based on our wire. If you grew up from where a lot of people are always asking you for money, if somebody else comes to share their problems with you, the first feeling is like this person wants, but the person goes away without asking you for money, but discuss with you, and then you share, okay, you can do that. And the next time they are seeing you, they've solved that problem. The next time there's another thing, they solve that problem. Your mindset about that person is that this person is someone who is self-reliant. You get what I'm trying to say? In fact, soon you won't mind having lunch with the person. Do you get? Because that person, so savings will make you be like someone people want around, not people they try to run away from. And then, of course, thinking is clear. When you remove the chaos of fear, of anxiety, of despair, if you remove all the chaos of those things, your ability to think is clear. Even when you are trying to do something and you are still not sure of how to go about it, your research in understanding how to do it will not be riddled with chaos. It will be clear. Because the problem is not the money. The problem is, how do we achieve what we're trying to achieve? Saving vaccinates you against poverty. When you save, and you consistently save, and continuously save, it will train resilience. You'll be very resilient. Because for every battle you win, there's a medal of honor. And that medal of honor is resilience. That I went through this and I came out on top. Such that if for any reason part of your savings is lost, you will not be happy about it, right? You will learn the lesson from which you actually lost that money, but your belief in building that money again will not be lost. Because you can say to yourself, I did this, I can do it again. That's resilience. Patience, because I said a man who saves 100,000 every month would have to be patient with himself at 18% for 30 years to hit $1 billion. That's patience. But you know, in the natural order of things, that man that saves 100,000 every month would actually conduct his life so well that his ability to save 200, 300, 500, 1 million, such that his attainment of $1 billion is no more 30 years. Probably might be in 10 years. You get it? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes. That's good. It creates orderliness and self-reliance. I've talked about this already. You'll be orderly because you automate it. 100K every month, 200K every month, 50K every month, 5K every month. You understand? I think that 5K every month just liberated somebody, either in this room or might be watching on YouTube. It attracts opportunities and prosperity. Because when you have money, our president has explained, and he uses the analogy a lot. Like money behaves in a way like, if you treat them right, saving them means you are treating them right. You are not just squandering them everywhere. That the relatives of that money will call all their family, they will do town hall meeting, and say, we have found a man who knows how to take care of us. Please, let's follow and go to the man. Do you understand? Opportunities will come and you will not shy away from it, because you understand that if you investigate and the opportunity is right, you have the backup to actually take advantage of that opportunity. That poverty audit, when I say how much money has it cost you, I'm sure a lot of business people have thought of times where you could have, an opportunity came and you could have taken that opportunity, advantage of that opportunity, but because you don't even have the reserve. Like the president will say, the time you need money to do something and you did not save is already too late. If you are trying to save the time you need the money, that's too late. But the beautiful thing about opportunity is that it comes in cycles. Don't let anybody deceive you. And we've lived long enough to have seen it in our life, that different opportunities came at different times. But the first time it came, it looked like, if I do not move heaven and high waters, this will be the end of me. But you did not move heaven or neither move high water. But a few weeks, months, years down the line, another opportunity came. Now you were ready. And then you take the opportunity and then you continue to soar. It builds greatness and eminence. There was a period recently, I started watching that all these people that have money, that we talk about them, when they walk into a room, there's a grace they carry. You understand? When they talk to you, the voice is different. They don't panic. They are calm. It seems like they have answers to all your questions. Because when you ask them, and everybody wants to listen to them. Everybody wants to hear what they have to say. When you have a lot of money, it's greatness. It builds eminence. There's that aura around you. There's a way you walk. Comedians will joke that their voice becomes deeper. Not necessarily, but there's a way that every single one of them, name them, go and watch their videos when they talk. Even when it look like I really don't want to, like there's a threat to even that wealth. Even when they have press conferences where they are talking, and you know that this thing is, the way they carry themselves, it still shows. It's because of years of dedication, discipline, building this machinery that brought them the wealth they now have. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. We wrote our goals last year. We talked about the practice of writing affirmation, gratitude every morning. We talked about the different things to do. It's discipline to stick to those principles that ensures that our goals actually are accomplished. Now, this is a case study, and this is a case study of someone we all know. This is a case study of the story of our president. I just put different titles, and we've heard the story so many times. So I'm just going to talk about just a section of his story. You know his story from his background, from when he grew up to how he got into school and all that. I'm going to go to the period from when he started his first organization, which is Tolu Medical Center, to when that first branch actually scaled. And to explain this, you need a bit of backstory. When he did the house job, he had the goal of buying a car, right? And he saved all he had. He told us the story of how he was called, is it Footwajo or Olurin? Dr. Olurin. And he saved all of that, even though the car he bought was thoroughly used. Even though he didn't know if it was the car that would take his life or the life of the car. That was not the point for me. The point was that he wanted the car, he saved and he got it. That built stamina So after he achieved that, now my interpretation of the story might not be correct, but allow me to interpret it the way, but for the purpose of this, which I think is true. Now, having won that battle, and because he had been reading, I just don't want this story. I don't want to go so far back, but he had been reading Think and Grow Rich every week, for once every month, for the entire year in the university, which he has seen also that there's a path to wealth. And then there's the desire to start his own hospital. And then he decided, okay, NYC, I will start to save. So that now it's not to buy a car, it's to start a hospital. Who thinks about that like that? How much of your NYC money? If not that you now learned how to do it, how much of your NYC money do you think you will save to start a hospital? But there's a mind wired for prosperity already. And apart from the wiring, I tried it and achieved it. That's why we are not surprised. And that's why we are still wowed till today. That in the beginning, it started with absolutely nothing, but that decision to be wealthy. The hospital started 3 days after passing out parade. After NYC, while some are still dancing with their certificates, there was a unity of purpose. And then it started. We know the story of how they started. I don't want to, but saved the first week's income. He saved the first week's salary of every month for 7 years. That was consistent action. Regardless of what was going on, he saved that for 7 years. So, and that required discipline. So that in 1993, he already had about 35 million, with which he then used to build the headquarters of Tolu Medical Center. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that, of course, continued, and took him to another level of wealth, of savings, and now they have 7 organizations. Now, every one of us here are a product of that decision. The harvest of that decision, which he's still enjoying, is not so much of just the money. It's also all the lives that are now being transformed. Because we thrive on evidence. Yes. If you say this is the way, and you can show that you have applied the way, and now you have the results, then it's easier for every other person to fall in line. And that's why, you see, you can go from nothing to wealth. We say store money because when you save, you must never unsave. In fact, these are stages. Some people even buy the idea of savings. And then the next thing is what? They unsave. They save, they unsave. They never unsave. I said 100,000 every month for 30 years. The guy did not unsave. If it was unsaving, there's no way to achieve 1 billion. Saving to unsave is a failure. You must treat your savings as being sacred, like tithes. If you pay your tithe to the church, and let's say you've been a member of that church for 7 years, now in your 7th year, there's a business opportunity, and you don't have enough money to maybe invest, will you go to your pastor and say, Pastor, I've been a faithful member of, I'm sure you know, I paid this, I'm sure you know, I paid this amount, I've calculated it times 7 years. This is the amount of money I have with you. Just give me 25%. I'm not asking for everything. Can you do that? It's the same way you treat your savings. It's your the foundation to the future you are working towards. Once saved, never. If you never read it, you should read it. If you read it before, read it again. In fact, based on the energy we are receiving, is the best to read that book again. The mistake that a lot of people make is they save after they have paid for every other thing. There are bills we pay. Sometimes they are monthly bills and some are annual bills. And because you know those, like January is now is when those of us that have children in school, we are going to pay school fees. It's already there. The same way you agree to those bills and you make plans to pay them, it's the same way you accept that savings is a bill you must pay. And it's the first bill to pay. Pay that, and then whatever is left, you spread to the rest. Sometimes you say, what I have is not enough. You're asking me to take out of it to save. But if you understand that the money you pay to all these other places, organizations, people and all, is not your money, it's their money. In that book, we learned that the money to the pepper seller is the pepper seller's money. The money you pay to the fish or the meat seller, the money to landlord is landlord's money. So if you keep giving people their money and there's nothing left for you, you have no money. And you agree to me that it is foolish. Now, you said the money is not enough, and you're telling me to still save out of it. I'm saying that to you because by taking a portion of it, of what is not enough, and saving it, is your start of ensuring that in a short while, or a time will come when what you have will be more than enough. That soon what is not enough will become enough. But if you don't save, there's no guarantee. It might continually be not enough. You agree with me? And then it is not enough already. So what's the difference? If you now take out of it and it's still not enough. But then there's an assurance that with time, this will generate enough so that it will now be not only enough, but then you have a lot, you have surplus and you have a lot left after. So save first, spend whatever remains, make it an immediate action. Remember that strategy is that whatever is left is what we now spread to the other things. When you are saving, you might need to start small. Do you understand? In fact, what I'm after is start. It might be 5%. Do you understand? It might be 5%, it might be 10%. But start. Once you start, that's the first action. The next month, you save. That's further action. Compounding all these actions, it becomes a habit. And that's what we want. Once it becomes a habit, and then you continue to save and conduct your life and businesses in other areas, other ways which we usually talk about here, you increase your earning ability. You are able to save more. And that savings is generating interest. It's becoming passive income for you. You keep saving it. And then you become so strong that once you have enough that you can save 30%, you will save it. Because you can start with 5%. But the advantage is the confidence. Because when you are confident, you can make better decisions. When you have courage, you can actually do things better than when everything is in chaos. So start small. Don't worry. Don't say because, they were talking about 100,000 every month. I can't say 100,000. That's what you have to save. Save it. Build the habits. That is one of the things I'm trying to say here. Now, one of the ways that also help you not to unsave what you have saved is you have different accounts. You have 3 basic accounts. One account is your habitual account, and that's where you save this money that you're not going to unsave. So you save it. It's a regular savings account. You keep putting your money there. You have what we call your spending accounts, your rents, your monthly upkeep, and all that. And then you have a project account or a goals account. So you're saving. You feel, this year I'd like to, think I can buy a shoe, I can buy a car, whatever it is. And you have an account for that. And then you are realistic that, okay, based on what I earn now, if I put this percentage here and this percentage goes into my spending account, what I have left, it might mean that I won't be able to buy that thing in the next 2 months, in the next 6 months. If you conduct your finances this way, you probably realize that what you bought in December, you actually didn't have money to buy it until May. And that way it will not disrupt your finances. But because you have not split your account, because everything that is coming can buy whatever you want to buy, you just go and buy. Then next month you start to find a way to be okay. Do you hear what I'm saying? So you're spending habitual and project accounts. Never mix your savings with expenses. If you do it this way, you agree with me that it's easier to not to unsave. You agree with me? If you actually spread your accounts this way, it is easier not to unsave, because also psychologically, you already programmed your mind that, okay, let's say 100,000, and you decide to save 10%, 10,000 goes to your savings, and then your goals, this thing maybe require another 10,000 for charity. We actually encourage a lot of have people that are on your beneficiary list, and let's say 10,000, that's 30,000. You have 70,000 to actually for your upkeep and all. You can, if you do that consistently, your mind becomes programmed that your income is actually 70,000. Do you agree with me? Because you already have separated where the money goes to. This is key. Consistency is more important than the amount. Like we say, consistency beats intensity. You have written your New Year resolution. I would advise, especially if it's someone who is still learning discipline, that what you are trying to change, you probably don't try to change it 100%. You can try and change it 50%. You can try and change it by 30%. Because it's then easier for you to be consistent with that. Because sometimes you change it so much that it becomes, after the fire of motivation of New Year, after it goes by 10th of January, it becomes difficult to maintain. But if you just change it gradually, with the power of the intensity that you have at that time, you're able to remain consistent with it. So the reason why I'm saying it could be 5%, because that's not what I'm after now, is the consistency. Depending on how frequent you earn, you can decide to save daily, you can decide to save weekly or monthly, depending on how you earn, and you ensure you stick to it. The idea is not just, oh, now I save. The question is, how consistently do you save? Now, build a structure around these things. This is another worksheet. I'll need you to answer these questions. There is also a page for you to put in all these answers. Like I said, because of time, I also would not want to, because here first is you need to decide how much do you earn currently. Of that amount, how much do you save, or how much will you save now monthly? And then where will these savings be kept? Because there are some, if you don't discuss this and then determine how much you want to do and where to go to, you probably will not save. Let's go. There are some money laws you must obey. Now, we know that money follows laws, not emotions. How many of you have read the 30 laws of money? This is one of the laws in, yes. If you've not read, go and read it. So 2 books we can read on the back of this seminar. What's the first book? Please, can someone please open that? Can you help me get the book? First, Love Yourself. What's the second one? 30 laws of money. Now, there's a law of reverse diffusion, and I explained that one earlier. Money moving in the direction of where there's more money. Diffusion we learned in biology means that matter moving from an area of high concentration to lower concentration. This is the same way if you release smoke here, in a few seconds, you'll be able to perceive it, because they will move from where they are, yes, plenty, and then move to the other areas. Money moves in the other direction because it follows the law of attraction. To have money, you must first have money. It's simple, right? The beginning of having money, you must first have money. And we all know the parable of the law of talents. To he that has, more shall be given to him. Thank you, ma. Pastor Mrs. Yes, please. You can just bring it. Let me show it for those who probably are here. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is money and the law of attraction, and this is the 30 laws of money. They don't have love yourself, pay yourself first here. And probably that should be made available in the next seminar. Now, the other side to that parable of talent says that he that does not have. What does that mean? If they say he that does not have, what does that mean? When you hear he that does not have, what does it mean? Eh? That means he that does not have. Abi has what? Zero. But it says that which he has. So how can he that does not have something to be taken from him? Because the truth is this: we have, but we don't consider it to be something worth saving. That's why you that you think you don't have, you already have the seed. Okay, they found the book. Thank you. So this is the book. It looks like a book you give to people on Valentine's. So it means for everybody that believes they don't have, they have. And because they do not, and the way you don't acknowledge you have is that you don't keep it. Because since you don't keep it, it means you don't feel you deserve it to be with you. So let's just take it from you. And where are we taking it to? To those that have. Thank you. Following the law of attraction, follow the law of reverse diffusion. Like I said, money obeys laws, not emotions. There are challenges to savings. There are a lot of them. I just highlighted a few. One is family pressure. Family pressure could either be family asking you for money or family applying pressure to you to start to do things you are not yet financially ready for. Marriage is one of it. Some people marry too early. And you agree with me, once you get married, it's like the start of another billing or finances. Not billing might not be right, or financial responsibility. So people are not ready, or all your friends now have cars. When will my son bring car? So sometimes we bow to pressure from family to take on projects that we are not yet prepared for. But another way also is that family can also emotionally collect all the money that we have. Exactly. It's called black tax. A lot of us are faced with that from time to time. If you are within, and if most of your friends are borrowers and they are spenders, and you still remain their friends, you can't succeed with this. Because if they want to collect, and you know there are people like that, which every time you see them, they have ideas that require your money to actually execute their ideas. And one of the people, he talks about people who come with experience and they need your money for that venture. And what usually happens is that money will move from them, from you to them, and the experience moves from them to you, but usually a bad experience. So if you have such people, you should fly or run away from them. And lifestyle inflation, I talked about it. You want to impress. You want to feel among. The way we feel like is, that's what we're taught. We don't use things to program the mind. Do you understand? We learn. We read books. We use affirmations. You understand? We use gratitude. We practice gratitude to program the mind, not something external. Because the flow of the equation is from within to without. It doesn't work from without to within. So you don't try to use external things to try and to feel the same way like the people you try to become. And their vices. People spend their money on different things. Like I said, vices. Some people like gadget people. Thank God for taming that appetite. They put that gadget, anything that is gadgets, no budget. How much is it? $1,000, $2,000. Ship it from China. Their vices. Some people spend every night 3, 4, 5 bottles of alcohol. Go to the club. It's not small money they spend in the club. You understand? They spend all the money. There are so many vices actually that also take away savings. People like to, in your estate, they know you because delivery man is always coming. You're always buying things on Instagram, wigs, clothes, and the likes. Bad associations, the wrong people who don't even practice what you do, not believe in what you practice, who are always trying to discourage you. I know if you are faced with this pressure, sometimes they wear even the little will that you have, they wear it down. You cannot help the poor by becoming one of them. You have to be strong before you can help. Because sometimes when we say savings, the question might be, okay, I'm saving, and person next to me do not have, they lack, and I still keep saving, and I'm not giving to them. The truth is this: you are not strong enough yet to help. We teach helping even at the level. That's why we have a percentage for charity. It's so easy for me. Have a percentage for charity every month. If that percentage has been exhausted, it's either you come next month. You understand? I can't, and my conscience is fine. It's good. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because if we act based on emotions, like, see what I have, see what this person is just, if I just take this, I'll solve this person's problem. Like I said, you are forming a habit to move in one direction. Once you start the habits or the actions to move in the other direction, it might be little. Soon you will find, I'm sure there are people here who attest to this. You now realize that maybe for 6 months, money was moving this way. But because you took a little to do this, in the next 6 months, you probably will go there 5 times. Because you have braked that direction. It's supposed to flow this way. You went to bring it this way. So you should love yourself enough not to break the cycle of this thing that promises great results. So save yourself first. In an airplane, if there's lots of cabin pressure, even if you have your child, you love your child probably more than yourself. You are advised to put on the oxygen mask before the child. Why do they say that? In your bid to put for the child, and child is still struggling, you might be out of breath, and you then will collapse. You pass out, and both of you will now pass out. So you first put on the oxygen mask. You are breathing well, then you then help the next person. Strength precedes charity. You must be strong to lift others. We rise by lifting others. The only person that is up there that can lift others. Financial stability is the prerequisite for effective generosity. I talked about you must determine a savings vehicle. We have piggy bank, the traditional piggy bank, savings account, fixed deposit, mutual funds, treasury bills. We've been talking a lot about mutual funds because every colo does not give you any interest. It only helps you the habit of putting, and you not touch it until whenever you decide to break it. Savings account gives you maybe about 3%, 3-4% interest. Fixed, I think maybe 3 to 9, depending on how long you want to fix it. For treasury bills, I think now is about 17%. That's a lot more than every one of them. Treasury bills, that's usually sometimes not so far from mutual funds. So if you want to start saving, you should look at mutual funds. I think maybe from next month, we'll be asking people, how many of us have mutual funds account? We will not check what is inside. And probably this is not a school where we say, oh yeah, show me this thing. We just want to trust your honesty to say we have it. So now, next month, Dr. Shodipo, you help me ask. If you have a mutual fund, raise your hand. Let your money roll over. Because the example I use of 100,000 every month, is the money was put in mutual funds. Yes, so the pathway from savings to wealth, I just put, like I said, I want to make it as practical as possible. Grow the seed first, the savings, grow it. If you have enough, and now there are opportunities, now this is to answer some of those questions. Now you are building, you have a business, or you're earning and you're saving and you're saving. Now there's an opportunity for investment because some investments will yield 100% return, some 200% return. And you're thinking, okay, I want to also take out. I won't advise you take all. I want to take out of this my savings to put in this investment so that you generate a lot of interest. And we are taught by our president that money you are taking out must be considered as a loan from your savings, which you're going to return with interest. You must investigate that venture you are considering investing in before you invest in it. You must understand it very well before you say, okay, not just a friend comes to say, I know a lot of things that happens. I did this thing 3 months ago. See what he has become now. I put money here. See what it has become. And emotionally, sometimes we don't even ask a lot of questions. Like, because of FOMO, the fear of missing out, is another thing that causes us to lose our money. Like this guy, if I put it 3 months ago, this guy put 1 million. Me, I could have put 5 million. This 1 million is 3 million. My 5 million would have come 15 million. 1 5. Then next weekend, so we can't even find. We don't even know where the office is. And then 5 million of your sweat, time, saving, just gone like that. So investigate for investing. And so important, even when you maintain liquidity, you should always have cash. Even though, of course, even people, they have assets, but they still have liquid cash. Because liquid cash, sometimes, if all your money is in assets, you have to be reminding yourself for fear not to come. Because there's no zeros. Your zeros are in different things. Then always think long term. It helps us to stay true to our savings. Never exhaust your reserve. Never unsave. These are some affirmations we could also take. I would like us to say it together. First one, I am a master saver. I delay gratification with ease. My savings work for me. Money flows to where my mutual fund is, and I am building a generational wealth. This is the third worksheet. Why I must prosper. You write 10 reasons you must become, reasons why you must become wealthy. Your why. Who depends on your success? You want to write them down. Or sometimes looking at their face every day will ensure you stay true to this. And then what changes when you succeed? This is your personal action plan, the structure around your savings. You have to commit. So you decide, is it monthly? What's the frequency? Weekly? Commit to a monthly saving amount. Our president, when he started, he committed to income from the first week to save. You made it very simple. No additional subtraction. First, because the hospital earned every day. So income from the first week saved. And he committed to it. Set your saving duration and frequency, monthly, and how long are you saving, especially even if you're saving for a project and all of that. Identify one expense to cut immediately. There's something you're spending money on regularly that you can stop today. I asked them yesterday, some people to KFC to buy chicken and chips. Some people you surprise every day. They can decide to stop buying chicken and chips. How much is that chicken and chips? We don't know. So let's say it's 7K. Let's say 7 heads. So 7K is being saved every day. 7K in a week is 49,000. Let's even say all the days they go to work. 7 days, 7K times 5 is 35,000. In a week. 35,000 times 4 is 140,000. In a year is 1.54 million or 1.78 million. Chicken and eggs. Do you get? And that is choosing just one expenses to cut. So we can sit down and look at what are those things I spend money on that can actually, one bad habit, I talk about vices, to stop, and then get a prosperity book to read. I already told you about books you can buy, because those books will continue this transformation we are talking about in the mind. Yeah, so I want us to go through a particular form of mental imaging. So I need everybody to close their eyes. Close your eyes. I'm not taking it what you don't know. Feel your feet firmly placed on the floor. Sit upright, but be relaxed. So take a slow, deep breath. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Again, breathe in calmly. Hold it. Breathe out every stress in your body. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Allow your shoulders to soften and relax. You are safe. You are present. You are supported. Now imagine time has passed, not by accident, but by intention. You made wise decisions. You saved consistently. You honored your future. And today, you are wealthy. You are influential. You are a billionaire. You are now in a high-level body, in an executive suit. There's natural light, glass walls, and a city stretching beyond. You are seated confidently at the table. There are powerful minds around you. They respect you. When you speak, your voice is calm, clear, assured. You do not rush. You speak with wisdom. You are heard. You belong here. The meeting ends. You rise with ease and step outside. Your car is waiting. Elegant, powerful, refined. The driver opens the door. You step in, settled in your seat. As you are driving through the city, your mind is peaceful. There is no worry about money. Money now supports your life. You arrive home, a stunning state-of-the-art mansion. Light, spacious, harmony. This home reflects alignment, not excess. You walk inside. Your spouse greets you warmly. Your children run towards you. Notice their joy. They feel secure. You sit with them. You are present. You are relaxed. This peace was built through discipline, through patience, through saving. Allow this feeling to anchor you deeply. Now repeat silently. I am disciplined with money. I save first. I delay gratification with peace. I build wealth patiently. I never unsave. This is who I am becoming. Take a deep breath. Be aware of yourself in this room. Then open your eyes. How do you feel? Every time you save, it's a vote for the future you just envisioned. Savings grants you power, freedom, dignity, and destiny. Start today. Stay disciplined. Never unsaved. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I told you this comes with it. The poverty cost audit. You can feel all these things are, we add them when you go for paid seminars, but giving them for free. Dr. Abdi Bolampe has paid in advance. This is your personal savings system, yes. What you currently earn, savings vehicle, and all of that. And then why I must prosper, the 10 reasons, then your 12 months saving vision, and that's it. Thank you. Any questions? And comments? Time is actually, you have a question? Okay, so because we'll take one question. Sorry, because of time, we'll take one question and then we'll move on to the next. Sorry. You can see me after for your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Dr. Abib, it's so nice to see you. I was looking at Dr. I said he has never aged in the last 10 years as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be my quick question is that recently most of these mutual fund platforms sent news to a lot of us that are blogging. They are saying that henceforth we will pay 10% interest on a monthly basis as per the federal government, and I want your take on that. You have to say about that because all of us know that we've already calculated days we need to hit that goals.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's clap for him. Yes, one of the advantages of mutual fund previously is that the interest, your money is not taxed. But what's been said by the government now is tax the interest, not your entire money. We don't want that. We want that should not deter us from actually saving and continue to move forward. It's a fraction of it. The numbers will get to a point where it really won't matter. Yeah, we don't know what's happy about it, but it's like we call it force majeure. I think so. Yeah, the act of that's act of God, but we really can't do anything about that. So okay, yeah. So please let's put our hands together for Mrs. Folake as she takes our session.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And Happy New Year. So good to see you. Thank you. Right, today we're just going to do something that looks like a summary of what we did almost all through last year. And that thing is something I will call our habits. You know, all that we did last year, we can actually put it together and call it our healthy habits. And what do I mean by this? It will shock you if I tell you that all those topics last year, if you are consistent with them, honestly speaking, unconsciously, you will achieve all you need to achieve health-wise. And what do I mean by that? Have a particular time that you want to do every of those things. Where in January, you have done your goals, right, for the year. But put these things in your plan. And those things are, you can ask Google or ChatGPT. You will give the information of your height, your weight, and it can tell you what quantity of water are you expected to drink in a day. That will be fine for your body system. When you do that, it will help you to know if you're drinking right or you are doing it wrong. Remember, we talked about water. Now, exercise, it's about moving your body at different times. For those that have sedentary kind of jobs or business, what you can do for yourself is make sure that at intervals, you stand up and move your limbs. Let me put it that way. Always have the particular exercise you do in the morning. Decide the time you want to do it. Decide what exactly you want to do. It is not enough to just wake up and just start your day just like that. You really have to plan the exact thing you want to do. As regards those things we learned last year, about our health and work with it. You can decide 30 minutes dance in the morning. At every 2 hours, I will stand up and move for like 10 minutes. I'm just trying to give examples. You understand? And also, there is one particular one that we should all learn. And that thing is our sleep time. It is not enough to sleep 8 hours or 7 hours. I also learned that it is compulsory. I said what? It is compulsory to have that time that you go to bed. That is when your body can actually do what it's supposed to do, which is rebuild, rejuvenate, and all of that. So you want to decide, I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock. And if you're planning to be in bed to sleep by 10 o'clock, please leave your phone by 9 p.m. Do you know that your screen time can actually make sleep leave you? So you want to cultivate that habit of maybe plugging your phone somewhere else in the house, not by your bedside. You understand me? So decide on what time you want to go to bed, and 1 hour before that, ensure you are not with your phone. Instead of being with your phone, grab a book. Grab a book. And I think one of the books you should even have by your bed should be your gratitude your gratitude book and your affirmation book. So at that time, you want to sleep, you can use that 1 hour to think about things you are grateful for during the day that you want to put in your gratitude book, aside from reading. Okay? And you should also reflect what you have gone through during the day. You want to think of what you did wrong, you want to correct. What you did right, you want to do more of. What did you say to someone? How did the person react to what you said? Maybe somebody actually abused you during the day. What caused that? How did you get to that part? You want to reflect on it so that you can get better. But regularly doing this every night, trust me, you will be able to sleep well. And like I said, plan your day. While planning your day, don't also forget. Learn something new in a day. What are you eating during the day? Doctor gave an example of chicken and chips, which is actually very unhealthy, especially the chips. We can even talk about managing the chicken, but the moment it is fried, don't forget, there's a temperature of oil. When the oil gets to, even if it is canola, name that kind of oil as healthy as it can be. The moment the temperature gets to a certain level, it becomes saturated and it is no longer useful. Reason you cook on low heat, but that's for another class. So it is very important that you are well hydrated during the day, know the quantity of water you should drink. And when you have that information, you will make sure that you're drinking the right quantity of water, sleeping well, eating right, and doing everything you have to do very well. So what is that habit you are going to improve on this year? Let us write that down and get better at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Apart from savings,